north and 1 mile east of the proposed building site here. I'll tell you that about 8 to 10 years ago in Bristol Township, 1 mile east of our place, a confinement building was proposed by a family from Grant Township. The Board of Supervisors denied their application to build this building at that time because they were not from Bristol Township. They said that their statement during the public hearing was that they couldn't build a building in Grant Township because there was too many people there. Since that time, I've done a Google map search looking around here, and within a 5 mile radius of our acreage, there are 24 swine confinement operations. Those are 24 individual buildings. Now, some of these sites have 2 or 3, but we've gone from next to 0 to 24 in a 5 mile radius in about 10 years. 3 weeks ago, according to the Fort Dodge Messenger, Webster County Supervisors denied a permit to build 2 Granite Farms 4. One of the reasons given was the company had no connection to Webster County at all. There wasn't a local farmer that was going to operate this. It's just an operation from a vertically integrated hog production company dropped into the middle of Webster County. I have searched the Iowa Secretary of State's website for corporations. When I look up Granite Farms 4, the corporation has no officers, no stock issued, no address. It has only a registered agent. I'm confused as to how a board of supervisors could grant a permit to build to a company that's so greatly disguised. Who are these people? Who owns Granite Farms 4? You know, our administration in Washington, the present administration, strives transparency. I don't see that here. What is the secret? I've worked for Scranton Manufacturing in Scranton for 16 and a half years, and I leave work every day and I drive to our farm up there. I go by this property 5 days a week. And the striking thing about that property is it's a classic case of a prairie pothole. A huge bowl here just from the paved road south with some small surrounding hills. Spring snow melt and any kind of rain over an inch, or and I won't say that, but it doesn't take a heavy rain to leave ponds out there. I will just say 20 to 40 to 60 acres of water standing over this. It's a sizable farm. It might be up to 320 acres there in one field. But from what I see at the road, what's visible from the paved road, lots of water standing. That water is bled off with higginbottoms, which are the orange perforated pipes that extend out of the ground. Rapid way to get rid of water, but you still have standing water there. It stands there for days because some of the tiles may be older and not as big as they should be. My point is, this standing water will make it 10 to 60 acres, whatever we want to put in there. Somebody can come out with me sometime after a 2-inch rain and we'll just survey. That water tends to leach everything out of the ground. The manure that's down there, and I'm not opposed to liquid hog manure and stuff like that, but I don't think this is a good place to inject it. The standing water will leach that manure out of the ground right to the higginbottom, which is a direct pipeline to the tile underground. And presumably that tile district would go to the Raccoon River, which is within about 2 miles. The prairie pothole situation combined with the higginbottom method of disposal of this water, I think is a very poor, that leaves this as a very poor place to try and spread manure, and thus a poor place to build a hog building, because it costs a lot of money to transport manure for any distance. Presumably, whoever's building this building, whoever they may be, has a contract with someone to dispose of the manure on the farms right around there. It's my thought that the feed for this operation, I believe it's Iowa Select Farms running this, the feed would come from Iowa Falls. Corn they can buy at long distance, but most of the monetary benefit would go to the Iowa Falls area. They're not going to buy corn around here and ship it to Iowa Falls and then haul feed back.
Yeah, nice.
Let me finish, please. I see Greene County has left with very little benefit except broken, cracked concrete roads, which we can all see around the county from the feed trucks, heavyweight stuff, manure detrimental to the roads. If the supervisors of Greene County would like to be the next county sued by the Des Moines Water Works, I think in combination with the Prairie potholes and the Higginbottom, he'd be next on the list. I have a question for the board, one quick one. Was anyone aware that Granite Farms 4 corporate site lists no officers, no stock issued, not even an address? Okay, they're the ones in the headline in the paper. This is being built by Granite Farms 4. Who are these guys? That's the end of my presentation. Jane and I are against this on those grounds alone, the fact that the company has no connection to Greene County. I think it's a very poor place to spread manure, and our tenants at our farm, Brandon and Sarah, are opposed to this also. And some of you people, 2 of you are standing for election this fall. Just
Thank
remind you of that.
you. 3 of us are.
3 of you are? Okay.
Patty.
Good morning. My name is Patty Edmondson. I'm here as a farmer today. I'd much rather be out walking beans today than being here. And I think this is a very important thing, topic. It looks to me like we might even need to have more discussion than just a 15-minute hearing on each individual CAFO that comes along. I know farmers need to make very important, difficult decisions all the time. It's a challenging work that we do, but this is an important issue. In addition to neighbors' concerns about water, odor, and outside ownership, I'd like to make 3 points today that show why a no vote is important on this CAFO and should also be considered for other future proposed CAFOs as well, as in the best interest of our county. First, this process is flawed. Handed to us by the state elected officials several years ago, it does not work. It's unfair and unjust to neighbors who have little chance to stop a CAFO. It's unfair to our county supervisors who are given this task of evaluating the CAFO, but lack the authority to make the decisions that fit their county. And it's unfair, I believe, to future generations, as it does not adequately address long-term consequences of our water, our air, and what it's doing to our communities. As Mr. Tiffany said, Webster County supervisors voted no on a very similar CAFO a couple weeks ago. We all know that the Iowa DNR has the final say, but if we don't start saying no now, nothing will change. I believe we need to change to vote no on this CAFO, on this powerful industry to safeguard our homes, our community, and its future, and our future. Second point, question of a saturation point. When do we have enough? The vertically integrated multinational industry sees no limits. For those of us who live in Iowa's rural areas, who live with the pain in the pit of our stomachs that flares when we hear of another CAFO coming to our area and wondering how close it's going to be to our home. When a CAFO or the manure that's applied to our fields close to our homes, that imaginary saturation point has already been exceeded. Now it's too late. With the trend of CAFOs being built on land not connected to a farmer's home or farmstead, CAFOs can land nearly anywhere. It seems no one is safe. A no vote is necessary to safeguard our sense of security. Third point, Greene County supervisors created a comprehensive plan in 2008. Several of the plan's goals relate to our rural areas and include the desire to draw more residents and more businesses to our county, the need for more economic and agricultural diversity, the ability to enjoy outdoor recreation, and the preservation and renewal of abandoned farmsteads instead of bulldozing those farmsteads. Each of these goals becomes further and further out of reach with each CAFO that comes to this county. A no vote is necessary to move towards these goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. We have 3 contacts from people about the site. This one's from Jim Stratton. I was just made aware of the Felix Finisher site in Bristol Township. I am building a new home at 726 Glenwood Avenue, approximately 1 mile south of the proposed site. I started my house in April and plan to move here from Carroll with my wife when construction is finished. I would not be making a $500,000 investment if I would have known of the proposed unit. Also, when I purchased my farm in 2001, I signed an easement to allow work to be done if needed on a 36-inch tile that runs through the next 3 miles north of my farm and thus right through and by the hog site. This tile empties into my ravine and then into the Brecon River. I am very much opposed to your granting this any further without some more study on the impact it may have on a major waterway. The site is less than 2 miles from the river and the tile dumps in the river. Please rethink this. Thank you, Jim Stratton. Another letter we received from Christine Lauer. No. There is already too many nitrates in the water for safe drinking. The density of these confinements has created a problem in terms of pure air. Who can hang out their wash anymore? Somebody has to care about something other than money, like the quality of our surroundings and a decent future. Get real. Draft some legislation to keep our area clean and decent. And from Adrian Smith, please vote no August 8th to the latest proposed hog confinement. When is enough, respectively? Did you want to comment on John's?
I'm John Savis, by the way. It's gonna be, it's basically going up right in my backyard. I'm not here to bitch, I'm not here to take sides. His remark to it was, you know, the corn's coming out of Falls. I've been running a new site for Iowa Select, Bristol F683. Just started that 3 weeks ago. My feed is coming out of Litterdale. So new co-op is doing, so a lot of the farmers feed McCormick. You do business with new co-op. I don't know how many other farmers in here do. So no, you know, some of that's staying local.
Okay.
I've worked for Van D Supply Company for almost 20 years now. Everybody familiar with that? We're a fertilizer company. We're sitting here talking about nitrates and all this being leached in. Hog manure, when you say, John, is probably more stable than Henderson milk.
If it's done right, I mean,
And if it's done right.
yeah. I'm not a scientist, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just probably, it's probably more. I'm here to maybe just a suggestion to Granite Farms, and I rent my acreage from them, and they informed me when I rented that acreage that they might come a day when they build a hog building. Part of it, I knew it, as part of living in the country, it's my opinion. We're an agricultural community, hogs, whatever. I would propose it to be moved to G Avenue. Off the highway, it's just down around the corner. I think, you know, out of sight, kind of out of mind if it's out off the highway. It's still on their property.
Yeah, over here. This is June.
Thank you.
Oh, it's age.
Thanks,
John.
Yeah, very close. Why, 'cause I have these.
I just, here, you know, I'm from Sedan. There's about 8-10 of us up there that have hog buildings. When they were built, I think almost all of us were under 35 for sure. I personally, I'd rather have John build barns, so whatever went in here. But we also probably would have rather had grocery stores in Scranton, Sedan, Peyton, Junction, like when I was a kid, instead of Fairway, or Hy-Vee or Fairway here. Change, I mean, countywide school, everything gets condensed, everything gets bigger. I'm proud because I'm from Greene County, because what do? We feed the world. We feed Greene County, we feed Iowa, we feed the world. We gotta find ways to make cheap food. And this, I mean, it's changed. You know, in 10 years, no, I'm not having a home price. You know, they're costing $700,000 per pack to build. You know, it's just a different way, and whoever owns the ground, I don't even know who owns the farm, to be honest with you. It's land rights, I don't like I said, I wish John was on board, but he's not, and it's changed. We gotta feed the world, and any responsibility of growth in this county you're gonna collect tax dollars. there's cattle pot, where there's pots on the hog coming through, there's feed trucks, there's construction. You know, the casino ain't gonna save the world. There's gotta be people to stop there and spend their money. There's gotta be, you gotta have people on a gravel road at night, you know, I don't mind the feed truck driving around because he might stop that, you know, thief from, I mean, more eyes, more traffic, more people. You know, like I said, you can't, business in town, you go to Sioux County, I would invite anybody to drive to Sioux County. If they think we're saturated, go up there and then go to the little small towns. Yeah, they got something that, you know, if we have all this, only the negative side of things, we're never gonna have. You know, there's, Sheridan, I would say there'd be 15 to 20 less families up there if you guys said close all hog barns. That's just that. And we're such, me, Jason Quinton, Johnny Minahan, Austin Minahan, David Miller, Troy Pop, Mitch Streams, Kale Connor Jurgensen, Jill Jurgensen. I can keep going. I mean,
I don't think we're proposing to close.
no, I'm just saying that's what's.
So that's an irrelevant point to me.
Something
We're
else.
talking about one industry.
Everybody,
I guess my opinion is, someone's gonna do chores every day. 300, it might be empty 5 days a year, 360 days a year, somebody's gonna show up there. That's gonna be a person, whether it's John, one of these guys, I don't know who's gonna do it. But it's growth. It's just like any other, it's a $1.3 million project, would be my guess. Give or take 100,000. That's money spent in this county. You know, we get excited about, we have Louis Dreyfus. Where do you think the DGGs go? To feed. I mean, where do you think all this stuff, we can have feed mills, we can have everything, but we got, I mean, yeah, I wish the packing plant would've came here. I'll probably get executed for leaving saying that. But, I mean,
Hey, at least the packing house is regulated. Your
so are
whole
we.
buildings aren't.
Yes, we are. I pay $700 a year to be regulated. I mean,
That's fine, Bill.
we are, by the DNR, we're regulated. We turn in paperwork every year. We pay permit fees every year. I mean, we are, this isn't to turn neighbors against neighbors, you know, I mean,
just talk to us.
yeah, we are regulated because
You guys
I
wanna-
can't put it, you know, I can't put it in certain places. I can't build, you know, that's why you gotta look for a site to make work. You know, I mean, I'll be honest, I signed a waiver for one of the next hearings coming up. I could have stopped the guy from building because of where my acreage is. I signed a waiver, didn't get $1, didn't ask for it because I believe in it and I believe it's growth through the county.
I respect your opinion. I do.
Thank you, Bill.
My name's Bill Cloninger. I live 1 mile east of where you're proposing to build this building. And in the grand scheme of things, for a lot of you people, $100,000 doesn't mean much. But we built a dog boarding facility, $100 grand out of our own pocket. We're still adding money to this. Every time a hog building comes up, our well gets worse. We're getting to the point now, the dogs that we have, we're gonna have to go buy water to water them because our water sucks. They don't wanna drink it. You know, when in the spring and fall, when they spread the manure, it stinks. Are you gonna bring me your dog so I can board it for a week and it goes home, smells like hog manure? No, you're not. We're gonna lose them businesses, or them people for our business. They will not come back. I guess my deal is, I'm really frustrated right now. You're talking about bringing money into the county. I have to work another job to support this, and if this doesn't work, it's gonna be really hard for me to make my payments on this building. But the corporations don't care, so I guess my deal is if I can't make this work, who's gonna help me out? And I didn't mean to insult you on the inspection deal, but John, they can come into our building any day. They can just drive in the driveway, walk in, nope, we don't like it, shut it down. Can they do that to you? I'm just asking. I didn't mean to insult you when I said that.
I don't do
They
that.
can inspect at any time.
Okay, but I'm frustrated on this whole deal. From my house right now, today, you can walk at the end of my driveway, turn in a circle, and within 1.5 miles, 2 miles, if you go clear to Youngbloods, there's roughly 17,000 head of hogs. Now you wanna throw another 5,000 over here, that's 20,000. Hardin's wanna build another one, so it ain't gonna be long, we're gonna be up 30,000 head within a 2.5 mile stretch. When is enough enough? That's my deal. You know, I'm struggling out here, we're trying to make this business work so my wife doesn't have to work at the prison. And in my eyes, long term, you're gonna close it down. So I guess that's where I'm at with this whole deal.
Hi, Lori Mantle, and I live by you. Hi, who are you?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have a lot to say other than, let's vote with your conscience. When is enough enough? Why are we looking at individual development at the risk of community development? We've worked very, very hard to build our community. We've been creative. We've looked outside the box. I know we're in an agricultural setting. Our livelihood depends on agriculture. The community relies on agriculture. But where's the skin in the game from an organization from Hardin County? Build it in Hardin County. I see you're saturated. I wonder why you're saturated. They continue to make more money. They continue to profit themselves, and they harm others. So I respectfully ask that you vote no.
Did you want to speak?
Yeah. My name's Bruce Chafee, and I apologize for my speech. I just got dentures, so I'm learning to talk. So if I sound funny or look funny, just give me a break. Over the last week, I've learned more about hog confinements than I ever dreamed I would. I grew up in cities all over the country. I moved to Greene County approximately 10 years. Been living out in Bristol Township, 3/4 of a mile from where this proposed site is from. I love living in the country. I got up last night at about 2 o'clock, sat at my dining room table. It doesn't get any better than what we have today. Addressing proposed confinements, I look at it from two perspectives. One, from myself, my family. I'm concerned about our health. I'm concerned about the smell. I've got a neighbor that half a mile away, he's got 50 pigs. I've had pigs, not five, I had 2. But I know they smell, and I'm not so concerned about the smell as I am about methane. I've been in the garbage business all my life, been involved in establishing landfills, been involved with closing. It's pretty similar. The noise I don't know about. I'm assuming I'll hear a little whining, but I hear that from my dogs. A major concern I have, I spoke with a state employee that's an environmental geologist. And I asked her, I told her about the proposed site, didn't tell her where. And asked her if I need to be concerned. Her comment to me was absolutely yes. You need to be concerned. The best laid plans fail. So if everything's 100% contained, most of the time that's good. If it's not, I have a serious problem. She suggested that we further investigate this. Asked me how deep my well was. Apparently it's deep enough. I haven't run out of water, but I told her approximately 60 feet. She said, you need to be concerned. Well, I am. I'm concerned for myself, my neighbors, and I'm also concerned with what Jim said in his letter, about 500,000 people not far away. I contacted a real estate company, asked them what a hog confinement within a mile of my house would do to my property value. I was told 20% right up front. It would decrease by 20%. I don't know. I don't know. I hear what this gentleman says makes sense. We're a farm community. But for everyone I talk to, everything I hear, good. I hear twice as much that I need to be concerned. My second perspective is my neighbor. I was told by a supervisor at this meeting that I should contact my neighbors. I have. I've been on the beaten run ever since I got this map. Contacted as many neighbors as I could, and not one neighbor said yes. Everyone of them said no. I asked them I even got by I asked every neighbor to come to this meeting. The ones that objected, they can't make it. They wouldn't for other things that they have going on. A lot of them said, you know, Bruce, you're wasting your time. That you won't win. My response was, well, maybe not. But I don't feel with these concerns that we as a community should roll over. And with the common phrase going around, enough. So I would ask you, I understand DNR has the final say, but I would ask you people as representing my neighbors, myself, all of Greene County residents, to put this to this. Thank you.
You didn't waste your time.
May I say something else too? I'd like to also say, I'm currently a site manager for Select Farms, and I'd also, these animals that these guys are raising are very, very well cared for. They have a 3 to 5 page animal welfare contract that I have to sign. If I get caught hitting a pig, kicking it, anything, I'm done instantly. If an animal is at all in pain, tail bite, whatever. Yesterday morning I walked into a building, perfectly nice, great big pig, had a tail bite. I had to destroy that pig immediately because it was in pain. So I mean, these guys, I was Select, I mean, they, as far as their animal welfare and their environment, I got weekly stuff I gotta do as far as measure my pets, my pig inventory. Hell, every time I give a shot, it's gotta be how many cc's, and I gotta log that every day. I mean, so, I mean, they're not just out here, I guess, trying to say, just trying to build, I mean, they're taking very good care of them. And if, like I said, they hire guys like me to do that, and if I don't do it, they're gonna replace me in a hurry.
Daryl. Daryl, you're representative of Select.
I'm with New Modern Concepts. but we build all Vial Select farms.
Is there a representative of Gravity Farms?
Granite Farms? No, there's not.
Go ahead.
Just listening to a few things that were said, I just wanted to point out, regulations for these buildings. One of the things we're required to do is every 4 years, we have to take soil samples, have to monitor this ground. We have a full-time manure management department that checks, inspects, and regulates how this is applied. I hate to say it, but farmers can put commercial fertilizer on. Nobody checks how much, when they put it on, to what rates. We're regulated on how much we can put on. They can come in at any time and inspect that building. The DNR calls you up and they can do a site visit at a moment's notice. When we build these buildings, we have to put a inspection riser pipe up from them. The DNR can go out and open up that pipe and look down in there at any time, make sure that there's no problems, nothing leaking from that building. So as far as for the regulation part, we are regulated a lot stronger, well, completely compared to what commercial fertilizer is or anything else that's put on. So there is a lot of regulation. The second part that I hear talking about is how it benefits the community. I think it was mentioned that's a $1.3 million structure out there. It'll pay taxes every year that go to this county. Those taxes go to your schools and every place else. There'll be an employee or two that'll live in Greene County that work in that building every day of the week, every week of the year. They'll have families that'll live here with them. We buy electricity. These buildings use quite a bit of electricity, so that helps benefit your electrical company here. As noted, the feed does not come out of Iowa Falls, it'll come out of Lauderdale, Iowa. So corn grown in this area will get hauled over to Lauderdale to be made back into feed that'll be used here. Propane for that building, these buildings use a lot of propane. That'll be bought locally. So there is things that do go back into your community locally that will help.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
That's all right.
Just to clarify, I'm not diametrically opposed to hog buildings at all. I've raised thousands and thousands of pigs in my life, and to clarify for Mr. McCormick there, I'm glad that these guys have buildings. I know the Minahans very well, and it's great because these guys live on the farm, they take care of their own buildings. My point is, I see no connection between Iowa Select Farms and Section 19 in Bristol Township and anybody in Bristol Township, save for Mr. Savis. I think it's a very poor place to cite a building based on what I said about the manure, the potential for leaching into the water, and as the